6:30. We'll go ahead and call to order the Planning Commission meeting for Tuesday, March 3rd. Can we get a roll call, please?
Ahern. Bathke.
Here.
Janezer.
Here.
Mickelson.
Here.
Schmierbach.
Here.
Willer.
Here.
Yachty.
Here. Great. Up first is approval of the agenda. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I move to approve the agenda.
Great. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. All in favor?
May I have a
Aye.
recap on
Aye.
who,
Aye.
Aye.
on who
I'm sorry.
Who seconded?
motioned and seconded,
I
please?
motioned.
I second.
Zach was the second. Who was the?
Sheila.
Thank you.
Let's
Sorry,
start. Okay.
I have a little lag
That's
on my
okay.
side, so.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, motion carries. Agenda is approved. Up next, item number 3 is public comment on any topic not on the agenda. Do we have any public comment? Okay, great. Moving right along to item number 4 is a preliminary site plan. We'll start with the staff presentation.
Okay, so these 3 items are preliminary site plans for developments in the Urban Central District, which is super exciting. So this is one of the major developments, which we'll be super excited to announce when we're ready. But right now, we're just calling it Medical Office. It's 2.37 acres, and it's kind of at the northern end of the Urban Central District development. Just to kind of give some overall context of, and I kind of want to go back over some of the things we've talked about with Urban Central District. I think sometimes I just get in the habit of just like assuming that we all remember this, and I assume that's a terrible assumption. So this is where Lot 2 is in the overall Urban Central District. The kind of the western part is Urban Central District, and then the east part, which is the multifamily exclusively, is Urban Central Lofts. And so we have Lot 2 here, kind of at that northern section there. We have the green arrow, if you can see it, and we have an 8-foot wide trail as well along Ranshaw Way. We will work so that this development will construct those 2 sections connect. So we'll have an 8-foot wide trail going up, and then the city will pay for the section going all the way up to Cherry Street. So we'll have an 8-foot wide section along Ranshaw, and then an 8-foot wide trail that goes up to the Muddy Creek as well. So these will be developed in conjunction with these developments. The one on Cherry we've already approved, the multifamily that fronts on Cherry. So we hopefully expect to see development on that in the spring, and then some of this forthcoming. But those are 2 kind of big keys to the development. Those will be public trails, both of them. And then another element that we have is just kind of this internal road. It's in red, just kind of showing that connection. You can actually make your way all the way up to Cherry Street from that section. I'm glad it kind of meanders a bit. Just what happens at the community center is people love to make cut-throughs. I'm sure this will be no exception. If you make it a little bit more of a pain, people tend to stay away from those. And then a city project, which is finally in the upcoming fiscal year, is this roadway connection of Commercial Drive. So where Commercial Drive comes around past the post office and kind of has a dead end there, we will extend that road, and it'll line up with Heritage Street to the south. So that'd be a great connection, and fortunate timing to time with this development. So, and hopefully these will, and then we'll have that main connection, obviously, within the development to Ranshaw Way. So we've got several connections, kind of different streets. We think that's going to help with, this will be a busy development. That should help. So the property, as a reminder, is zoned CUC3, Central Urban High Intensity Commercial District. This is a district kind of modeled after one of our more intense districts, but with lesser setbacks in here to promote more of an urban compact development style. The future land use map designation is urban high intensity. So the zoning is consistent with the land use. And here is the preliminary site plan. It's a 32,000 square foot medical office building, so it's a pretty substantial building that would be considered what we call an anchor. This is, like I said, we're really excited about this. We think it's going to drive a lot of other tenant spaces in this development and really help set this development up for success. You can kind of see they are enjoying some of those reduced setbacks and pushing that building all the way up to Ranshaw, which I think is going to help promote kind of the presence and not being set way far back and having a big parking lot. So we appreciate the orientation. But you can kind of see the main road coming in there. We'll do some lighter streetscaping along the main entrance there, similar to some we have along Ranshaw. Not the major ones with the seat walls, but probably what you see over by Fairway. Drainage there. And then these are kind of some of the renderings that we see. I pushed back a little bit on some of the initial renderings, and they were super great to work with and receptive, some of the comments that I had, so I really appreciate that. I don't like to get too far down into the weeds on that. I just wanted to try and emphasize some of the presence. I think this is going to be an important building, particularly with the frontage on Ranshaw Way, and they were amazing to work with and really receptive and kind of responded on some of the comments that I had. And I think here's another kind of rendering. I think it's going to be a nice looking building. I think the one on the top left is kind of what you would see coming into that main entrance. And so having that 3-story portion there, I think is really going to kind of frame that entrance there. So I think it looks pretty nice. Yeah, we're pretty excited. And kind of here's a floor plan. We don't have any objections that were received. And we have one finding, which the request achieves consistency with approval standards, and we recommend that you forward this request for a 3-story, 32,000 square foot medical office to the City Council with a recommendation for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, do we have an applicant presentation?
No presentation, but always can answer any questions if anybody has any.
Any public comments? Great. Any questions or comments?
No, I think it's a great development. I had talked a little bit with Russ about the setback issues and got that straight in my head about the urban high intensity in there and the 2- and 3-story element. But I think that'll really start to change the character of the street up there. And I would hope in the future maybe there'll be some other 2- or 3-story buildings, but I don't know what's in the plans for that, if they're all single-story or not. But we'll see when we get to that point. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool.
And they have no tenant announcement yet?
Not yet.
Would love to. Yeah.
It looks pretty specific.
Great. All right, well, if there's no other questions or comments, I'd entertain a motion.
Bathke, I move that the Planning Commission accept the listed finding and forward the preliminary site plan to the City Council with a recommendation for approval.
And do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a roll call vote, please.
Mickelson,
Aye.
Janezer,
Aye.
Schmierbeck,
Aye.
Willer,
Aye.
Yachty,
Aye.
Bathke.
Aye.
All right, great. Motion carries. Moving on to item number 5, a preliminary site plan. We'll start with the staff presentation.
Okay, so this would be just directly to the south of that, on the other side of that entrance road there. So this is a multi-tenant commercial building on 2.21 acres, east side of Rancho Way, 500 feet generally south of Cherry Street. And again, in the overall picture, this is where Lot 3 is. So it's exciting. A lot of to see this much of the UCD development this early on in the process is exciting and quite honestly quite a bit of a relief with the city's investment in it. So we're excited that things are moving quickly. Again, CU C3 for the zoning and urban high intensity for the land use. Here is the site plan. Again, a multi-tenant commercial building. a little bit further setback just because I get is not everybody likes to ride their bike like me, although they do. But I understand that people have cars and they drive them. I drive them sometimes too. But usually these buildings kind of rely on these drive-through areas. Even if they don't have that specific tenant, it's really hard to retrofit that later on. So that's why a lot of these will have them. So that's just not a hill I'm willing to die on. So, and I believe this multi-tenant space is about 10,000 square feet. So again, another substantial building. And you can kind of see the other two to the south. I would presume that Brandon doesn't quite have tenants for those yet, but we would suspect that when the anchor tenant is driving and seeing how this leases up, that'll probably drive activity on those other ones as well. Again, this is another one where I kind of just had a little bit of feedback, and again, they were super great and responded, increased the verticality of the building a little bit more just to give a little bit more presence and put a transom window on there. It's hard because this is the back of the building. Would love to see a lot more glass back there, but it's really the back of the house, and that's really hard to do. So they really try to play with the architecture a little bit and change heights and things like that. I really love the kind of the art feature kind of at the corner of that building. Again, what we talked about is trying to enhance the corners of that entrance road to give it some kind of unique feel, and they responded that way. So, and hopefully this kind of ties in with the art plan that we're working on a bit more. But again, happy that they work with that just initial feedback and responded. So, again, kind of just talked about where this entrance road is, and you can kind of see that building, the office building at the north there, and then kind of how these buildings are with those corners. I think it's going to be a cool feature and something that's unique. You know, you're just trying to come up with something a little bit more unique in a kind of a suburban development style. So a little bit more urban. Again, you know, with the trails going through, we think it's going to be a walkable. I'm all about just having choice in transportation and giving people options to do things instead of just, you know, forcing their hand and doing one thing. So I'm really, really pleased with how this is laying out. No objections received, and similar finding, and staff recommends that you accept that listed finding and forward the request to the City Council with a recommendation for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have an applicant presentation?
Presentation, happy to answer any questions.
Thanks. Any public comment? Great. Okay. Any questions or?
I just echo your comment, Russ, about being excited to see this development right in the heart of town.
Yeah,
It's nice to see it really.
what a dramatic change. It's hard to really go back and look. And it's just just tremendous amount of work and risk. I think no one appreciates that more than Brandon, but you know, this is a super risky deal, and you never know what you're going to find when you get in there. And I'm sure I know he's found a few surprises. I failed to mention the drainage structure has already been constructed, so that's going through the property to convey ultimately water from the Liberty Center Pond that goes through that direction. So really, they did a good job last year, kind of setting up the development for this year. So yeah, it is exciting.
I just remember moving here 15 years ago and thinking, well, we got a lumber yard and empty lots right in the middle of town. That's interesting. And
That's kind of one of my presentation things is like, why do you have this industrial, area in the middle of town? It was like, that was the edge of town.
Because it wasn't, yeah.
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 And I think it can't be stated enough of how, I would say nothing short of a miracle it was to get all these land, all this land together, and able to do this project, to get BCI Lumber, who is a business in town, to move. It's almost unbelievable that Brandon was able to pull it off, to be honest with you.
No small feat. We definitely appreciate it.
Yeah. So did I see on that elevation that the building's actually to the top of the parapet is 23 feet tall?
Yes, I think that's right. Yeah.
Okay, that alleviates some of my concern about having a smaller building there.
Yeah,
Appreciate
actually,
it. Thanks for making it
first-
higher.
the first
It'll start to
iteration-
blend in with the other two-story and then the three-story popping up in the medical office building.
Yeah, the first iteration we had was I don't know how much shorter, but a little bit shorter. And
Yeah.
so they extended that height a little bit, added those transoms above the doors in the back there just to increase that vertical.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to make a big difference.
Yeah, that'll help the massing on that side of the road.
Yeah.
A lot.
What kept you from, or not kept you, but like, why didn't you consider putting like apartments above there?
Yeah, that's a long answer. So it's really difficult, and we have a couple inside of our portfolio where we have apartments above commercial. Really difficult to build to make it affordable and to be able to rent the lower level space out at a rent that we need to get. It's also really hard to lease. So I've got a building right now in Des Moines that we're currently dealing with a major water issue because a tenant left a tub on and it flooded a commercial building down below. So commercial units don't typically like to be below apartments, and apartments don't like to typically be above commercial. I think there's a place for it in urban, super big markets, right, where everybody lives downtown and is used to it. But we've had a difficult time trying to build it affordably and then lease it. So that was the reason for it.
Cool. Thank
Great
you.
question, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, Zach, what you mentioned would be what we call a vertical mixed-use development. On this site is what we call a horizontal mixed-use development, where you have standalone commercial and then standalone residential. We haven't seen a true mixed-use building since I've been here.
To create obviously some height and some vertical elements to it, but we also needed to make sure to protect our anchor tenant. So that person had, and I can't use the name, but that they had a good visibility from both directions. So
Yeah.
we wanted to take into some of what Russ was looking for from a height standpoint, but that's also why it's not a multi-story building.
Yeah. They're separated. I think the two buildings are separated enough that it'll still give your anchor tenant plenty of visibility.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Any other questions?
No.
All right. If there's no other questions, I'd entertain a motion.
I move that the Planning Commission accept the listed finding and forward the preliminary site plan to the City Council with a recommendation for approval.
Great, thank you. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Schmierbach,
Aye.
Mickelson,
Aye.
Janezer,
Aye.
Bathke,
Aye.
Yadi,
Aye.
Willer.
Aye.
Wonderful, motion carries. Okay, moving on to item number 6, a preliminary site plan. We'll
Okay,
start with a staff report.
Yep, thank you. So this will be the last one on the agenda for the UCD. So this is 1.72 acres on proposed Lot 6. So this would be the multifamily and the previously mentioned horizontal mixed-use development. And again, this is where Lot 6 fits within the overall development. CUC3 and urban high intensity. And here's site plan. One of the things we added to the CUC3 district was you could have 10-foot rear yard setbacks. Actually, yeah, I think it might have been 0 actually. Is it 10, John? Help me out. Thank you. Late in the day.
We can change things to 0 if you want them.
But what we said was, if you're adjacent to residential, then it goes to 10. There it is. There, it's coming back. And if the building is over 35 feet in height, then your setback increases from that property line 1-to-1. And I'm happy with that. I think it makes sense, especially when you go a lot taller, to start pulling away from that property line, and that's what's happening here. It's a taller building. I think in the realm of like 50 feet, a little over 50 feet, and so it pulls away from that property line, which I think is very appropriate. So I'm really happy with that. But you can kind of see the site plan. It'll be similar to the other buildings you have, just because these are such massive buildings, and it is a expensive endeavor to design these things perfectly and build them cost effectively, or I should probably say impossible to build them cost effectively. And here's the renderings. Brandon was able to utilize the recent ordinance changes that we put in place, where we reduced the amount of masonry on a multifamily building in commercial districts. And I think that this is a great example of how that can work. You start to see different elements that add visual interest of pulling it vertically as well as extending out from the building, which I have advocated for. That I think that looks much better than just a flat masonry building. And so it adds a lot of visual interest. We'll see if we can keep moving in that direction. This was super helpful to have an example and to be able to work with Brandon's team it's just almost impossible for me to write these codes, complex codes like this without kind of having an example and talk to people about, what works. I can make stuff up all day long, but if an architect can't use it, it doesn't make sense, then it's worthless, and that's not what I want to do. I want to create flexibility in the zoning ordinance and design standards that are achievable and people will use. So I'm super happy with this. I think it's going to look great. Again, no objections. And we have a similar finding, and we recommend that the Planning Commission recommend approval to the City Council, and this is a 51-unit building, to the City Council with a recommendation for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Do we have an applicant presentation? Wonderful. Great. Thanks. Any public comment? Okay. Questions or comments?
So there's parking underneath the building, right?
There is, yeah.
Is there enough for what, one per unit or
I
something
think
like
there's approximately, it's not quite 1-to-1 under the building. I think it's 40, right about 40, if I remember right.
that? Oh,
yeah.
so most of the people get to park under
a
the
big
building.
chunk of them, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, so there won't be so many cars littered out in the parking lot. Nice. Is there an example of that in town anywhere? I can't.
Yes, if you, over the Hodge development on Forever Green Road, just west of the North Central,
Yeah.
they've got underground parking in that
Oh, they do?
development there. I think that's a 4-story building.
Great.
What's that?
Ashley Court.
Ashley Court too, the retirement.
Senior.
Yeah, senior living facility has got one too, yeah. Yeah, and I just, there's a need for that just because if you think about Emery Place behind the Pizza Ranch, they had a little bit more land, and so they could afford to provide a lot more surface parking. We're just so much tight on land here that it just it's necessary to do this kind of stuff to achieve parking standards.
Not only was it necessary, but it provides another amenity, that separates us from some of the other places in town that we own and some of the other ones that are out there. We're trying to do something different, right? And we're trying to make this a little bit of an elevated complex, and I think that adds to it.
Yeah, it does. I think so.
Especially in Iowa winters.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably our number one complaint in our other facilities that we don't have any covered parking. So.
I have a quick question. Could you go back to Brandon, the white metal panel product that says it's on here, can you explain a little bit more about that? Is it like a smooth product, raised?
Oh, boy, you're getting in above my level of expertise. I don't have my architects with me, and we haven't built it yet. Did we have a call out on there at all?
It just says white exposed fastener metal panel.
Yeah, so I don't believe it's going to be anything raised. It'll be more of a smooth texture. Go ahead. Yeah, there you go.
3-inch rib.
Okay, is that what it is?
3-inch rib.
Yeah. Can you explain that? Are you able to explain it? Yeah. You good to talking? Yeah. All right, you're gonna know more about it than me. So thank you.
Yeah, it's a metal panel product, was the one that was specified. We're working on the other one, and it's 3-inch ribs,
Okay.
and it's a square profile, flat, up, back, and a
Okay.
corrugated metal.
Yeah, I was just wondering if it's going to look more like a roofing material or like a smooth, like a chamclad material.
It's a higher profile than like the bowling alley has on it, but kind of similar product.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good example. Bulldogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
So you'll get some shadow lines across there.
Correct.
So that'll be nice.
Rachel, that's the first time I've had to call up help in maybe 10 years of doing that. So great question.
All right. Any other questions? I guess one question, what is like the estimated timeline on these?
So as Russ mentioned, our first building is similar to this that we've already approved. We're going to go vertical here in the spring, just as soon as we're ready to go. The medical facility will be this summer, and the strip center next to the medical facility will come right out of the ground about the same time. So yeah, we'll be going like crazy, finishing up the infrastructure here first, and then a lot's going to be happening real quick. So this building will be the latter of all 4 of those. So if everything goes as planned, maybe this fall would be our goal. Right now, the market shows that there's a lot of demand, so we want to take advantage of it while we can.
Sure. Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, if there's no other questions, I'd entertain a motion.
It just crashed.
Right. Bathke, I'll move the Planning Commission accept the listed finding and forward the preliminary site plan to the City Council with a recommendation for approval.
Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
Can we have a roll call vote, please?
Janizer,
Aye.
Mickelson,
Aye.
Schmerbach,
Aye.
Willer,
Aye.
Bathke,
Aye.
Yachty.
Aye. Wonderful, motion carries. Moving on to item number 7, approval.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Great. Prior minutes are approved. Item number 8, any planning updates?
Just a preview of what's going to happen next month. So since they submitted, we can announce this. This is the vacant lot just east of El Pelling. And so this is going to be a quick star. So
I'm sorry, where is that? Where'd you say?
this is the vacant lot east of El Pelling at the southwest corner
east
of
and west.
Jones and
Corner
Penn.
of Penn and
That's ag
Jones,
land right now.
across from Starbucks.
Oh,
Yep.
thank you.
Walking distance.
It's your neck of the woods.
Close to my house, too.
This is what I need, something else to get hooked on.
Ooh, a car wash. Great.
That's awesome.
So nothing else for the rest of the land. It'll just take up, and then the entrance road you see on the southeast side would line up with the street across the way. I think that's Liberty.
Oh, yeah, that's the
Oh.
back
Liberty
street
Way, I
that
think.
runs behind everybody, the car wash all the way down.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Field day.
They are looking at putting an entrance on Penn, and we said, well, the only way we'd allow that is if you put a median through there, and they said, okay. So that's part of the plan, is to build kind of a raised median, similar to what you see on Forever Green Road. They'll sod it and allow for future landscaping, but that kind of fits with what we're looking for that whole corridor.
It's a quick star. Nice. I saw they had the other one open by the high school.
Yeah, I think it's open.
Yep,
is?
yep, we
Yeah.
all talked,
Yep.
Yeah.
several visits have occurred.
Yep. Great. All right. If there's nothing else, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll motion to adjourn.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
All right. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Meeting adjourned.